The good thing is the preparation in getting the product out of the bag into the bowl doesn't differ from what we've seen in the kitchen. All we're doing is using a different heating method. We want to take with it a little bit of the sauce, but leave the remaining in the bowl, as we did before. There might be a couple of rib products that are stuck together, and in that case we just want to separate them and get them face down on the grill. Beautiful smoky barbecue aroma coming from the product. Move on to our beef rib. Same thing. You can start with a low to moderate heat, keeping set aside the excess sauce to use as a baste, and we move on to our pulled pork. We'll let that sit for up to 5 to 10 minutes. I'll come back and reassess the basting process and also influencing the pulling effect on the pulled meats. With a barbecue there's no set duration, but for me, by looking at moisture and char marks on the ribs, it's time to come in and sort of show you guys the next step at the halfway point. Now for me, this is about 8 minutes at a medium to low heat in the pan. All we want to do is encourage the moisture in that product. Okay, so all we're going to do is that excess sauce is just work it through the pulled meat again, and encourage the pulling by leaning down on the product and squashing, so to speak. And you can see that there, just already pulling straight apart. Now the beef rib's at a stage where it's face down and it's starting to show signs of charring, so like a charring effect or hardening dark bits on the rib itself. So you can see that on the top end. That's at a stage now where we really want to get some of that excess sauce and baste it through, okay, to create that caramelization and make sure we get that beautiful Texan barbecue flavour. Alright, so our pork ribs are also at a very similar stage in comparison to the beef rib. We're showing char, we're getting those beautiful barbecue flavours coming through with the smoky, and we want to just give that a little baste as well. So we'll get ourselves to a situation here where we give it a little lacquer, keep that stickiness, that beautiful smoky barbecue aroma and flavours. Now, what you've got to remember here is that with the pulled meat, it's a bone out product, okay, so you want to make sure that there's no bone influencing the cooking process, so it's going to generate quicker. It's directly in contact with the fry pan. Now, I'm happy for that to be served. Your beef rib product is going to take a little bit longer than your pork rib. That's a meatier spec, it's thicker, there's a lot more meat on top of the bone. So I'm at a stage now where I want to just give that a little bit more time face down, and then give it a final baste before we serve. Now you can see that's really starting to get the desired look and feel and caramelization. And I'll get the same situation with the pork rib. It's important to remember that a lot of the meat's on top of the bone. There's going to be one end that's got more meat, or one layer that's got more meat than the other. So you want to focus on that being face down more so. It's also important to not neglect the back end of the rib, but it will still influence the flavour profile, and important to keep it basted throughout. So what we do now, once we've got that on, is we let that sit for about 5 minutes, continually fueling the pulled pork and giving it the moisture that it requires. But the next time we return, in 5 minutes from now, I'll be at plating upstage. So really happy with that pulled pork, the way it's just pulled right through, and it's got that barbecue Texan style Memphis taste about it.